Sarah. I wanted to start with just the tough news with Chance Tucker and KVA Kingston just obviously having season-ending injuries. Chance has to. This is his second one, so he'll have to decide if football is something he wants to continue to do. But I mean, it's just tough to 5 years and has really been a valuable member of our team. And then he was playing at such a high level. It's just you feel awful for him because he puts a lot into it. And I was talking to his mom this morning, and outside, everybody evaluates what he does outside his performance, but this challenge is going to be one that he's going to have to face inside, but he's built the right way. His mom is a strong woman that has really instilled valuable inside skills. I always talk about what's on the inside, and so we'll be on the journey with him as he recovers from this injury. But he's got a bright future. But you just know that right now it's just tough as you go through the situation he's going through with the season-ending injury. So moving forward, just obviously Saturday was a great victory for senior night. As you evaluate the film, our guys executed their responsibilities at a high level, which in turn, created some really explosive plays and scores and game-changing type plays. And so, I think what I'm most proud was the way they prepared, but their mindset for that game. They were expecting, they were ready for the fight of their lives. Like, they were ready to go. And, I'm proud of the way mentally they were prepared. And for two reasons. One, because the film showed that we better be prepared for a tough game. Right? We didn't watching film. You don't think the score was going to be 70-7, and so they were prepared for a tough challenge. But also, they went out there and did it too. We all evaluated the film. There was probably the fewest. We always say MA's mental errors or missed assignments that we've had all season. But there still were some, right? And as I told you Saturday after the game, there's always opportunities to improve. And, a guy might have missed a signal. We might have went the wrong direction on one. We didn't execute on the first kickoff. We didn't always get to our guy on some of the run schemes. And so we weren't 100%. And that's the mindset that we have to have, because that's what reaching your full potential is being perfect, right? Is being 100%, not being perfect, but like if you reach your full potential, you're at 100%, and that's the mindset we got to have. 11 guys are graded every play, and the outcome can't, make you think you did your job if you didn't, right? I said every play you're going to get graded, thumbs up or thumbs down, and so if you didn't grade thumbs up on that play, we got to figure out why, and we got to find a way to fix it. Now, there were some guys that did grade 100%, and their challenge is to how can we do that the next Saturday? And the only way I know how to do that is only way I know how to even give myself a chance to do that as a player is to prepare the right way. And if you didn't get 100% or grade out 100%, let's go to work and let's try to attack and find ways to fix it. So we got areas to improve, and we got a great challenge ahead of us as we get ready for Stanford. The thing that sticks out to me as I really kind of evaluate Stanford is they're 4-1 at home, and their statistics are showing they're playing better at home for whatever reason. They have played really well at home, and I know it's Coach Frank Reich's last game coaching the team, and so I know they'll be emotionally invested to making sure they send him out the right way at senior night, I'm sure, for them. And so we have a great challenge. And I think about the last 3 times we played Stanford, and we've been tied or down in the first quarter. So at the end of the first quarter. So we know the challenge. This program has improved since I first got here in 21. I think about 21 game at Stanford to where they are now. Like, they've improved, and I'm betting they continue to improve. So we got to go to work. We got to prepare for a good offense that's balanced, tough downhill run team. They got some skill on the outside that are good players. Their tight end is, I think, number 5 in FBS and receptions. I mean, they got some good players, and on defense, they're tough, they're gritty, they run to the ball, they're physical, they tackle well. Got a deep D line, some good linebackers, and it's gonna be a great challenge. So we got to go to work and focus on our preparation. If we get better this week, then we got a chance on Saturday to have success. So that's what we got to focus on. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Back row on the right, Drew Mentok.
Jeremiah Love is not going to get 300 carries like we've seen from some other recent Heisman caliber running backs. But when you turn on the tape, how does he impact the opponent, even when the ball doesn't go to him?
Yeah, I think you look at Jeremiah Love and you say, okay, every time he gets the ball, there's a chance that he can go all the way. And, I mean, yes, he's not going to get the carries that maybe all the other running backs in the country get, but what he does when he does get the carries is his yards per carry is tremendous. Then you see what he does in the pass game, right? And he doesn't always get the ball, but he's a legitimate threat as a running back out of the backfield in the pass game. But the thing I'm most pleased about, which people that watch him probably don't care about, is the way he protects. I mean, the pride he takes in protecting a quarterback. There was times previously in his first or second year that we would say, hey, if it's a passing situation, you might put somebody else in there. But there's never a time where we say, take him off the field. He's that consistent in his play. I really love it. Every time we run the QB power, just watch every time we run a QB power and Jeremiah Love's in there, what he does to that linebacker or that safety, whoever's filling him. He tries to go punish him. And that's what you respect about him. He's not a guy that just says, when I get the ball, I'm going to go make something happen. Every play he's in there, he's trying to do his job with physicality. And it is, I mean, he is a true, complete running back.
On the left, Pete Byrne.
Hey, Marcus. As you guys continue to grade out better and better over the weeks, because I think you're trending, it seems to me like you're trending that way. I'm wondering if you could share what that does for the coaching staff as you start to put together game plans and you have more confidence in more guys. Like, what does that do for you guys, and is there maybe an example or two you could share?
In terms of, give me a little bit more, Pete, like in terms of
I guess if your guys grade out so high that your confidence in them is naturally high, that whatever we're asking them to do, they're doing that, how does that allow you to expand what the team's repertoire is?
Yeah, I think it starts with just always evaluating what you're asking them to do, right? And, okay, they're grading out really well. What did we ask them to do? I think as you look at Syracuse, they did – I'm just talking about their defense right now. They did so much defensively that you had to be a little bit more simplistic in terms of some of your run game schemes. And, I think as you get ready for this next one, we're going to do the things we do well. We know that, but how can we enhance off of the foundation of what each week the game plan is going to be? And I think that's that's like the math equation of the tactical side of football. You have to start with, okay, here's the things we know we're going to do, and we do them well. How can we now find different creative ways to maybe fit that scheme, but maybe it looks different for a defense or an offense? And the same thing goes for the defensive side of the ball, is that, okay, we know we're playing these couple coverages well, this pressure well. How can we disguise it in a way that it's going to look different for that quarterback as he sees it pre-snap? But for our guys, we're just showing them something, and we're playing with velocity. And so you always start with, though, the foundations, the things you do well, and then you build it from there.
Are there any different challenges or concerns that come with playing a game so much later at night than normal?
Yeah. It's going to start with the mental approach, and I got to make sure that the mental approach to this 7:30 Pacific kickoff time is that it's Notre Dame time, and that's the first thing is the mindset we have to have. But there's also small adjustments that we'll do probably towards the end of the week in terms to making sure that physically our guys are ready at 7:30, right, when we're out there. And we got a long flight out there. We know that Saturday is going to be a little bit different to the body with terms of wake up time. And so there's little things that we do as a sports performance staff to make sure we can help them be ready at 7:30. Like they got to be ready to go. But to me, the number one thing is the mental approach to it.
Front row on the right, John Bryce.
Hey, Marcus, with the KVA news, Madden obviously already played more on Saturday, I think third on the team with 5 tackles. What'd you like about his performance Saturday, and where's he grown the most in recent weeks?
Yeah, he is a ascending player, right? And the more he's out there, the better he continues to play. He's preparing in a really positive way. I think the greatest thing King did for Madden was they hung out a lot, and so Madden learned how to prepare in a similar way that King did. But he's getting better. He's getting better at all facets of playing the linebacker position, and he's doing a really good job when we're asking him to do on special teams. And so his role will increase, as well as Kahanu Kia's, and as well as some of those other guys that have been playing.
And then I know every team's different, but last year you guys won basically 13 consecutive must-win games. This year you've won 9 consecutive must-win games, for lack of a better term. What translates? What makes your team so successful in those settings? And also, how has it done so while still appearing to play loose? Like, you guys don't get real uptight on Saturdays.
I mean, the biggest thing is right now, like, you're just focused on this one, right? And so I always say, as you look back at something, you say, man, you guys went on a run, all right? Or you guys had a great season, or you guys did some really good things. But in the moment, you're just so entrenched on this opportunity right in front of you. And I think that's what's important. Like, that's enough pressure, right? You start thinking about this big picture and what's happening in an uncertain future. That's added pressure that you don't need. You need to focus on. I mean, this is the Super Bowl. I've said that plenty of times, but it is like you learn from the past and you let it go, and you say, okay, we don't talk about an uncertain future. Like, this game Saturday is the Super Bowl, and it can't be lip service. Your actions have to follow that, and if our actions do follow that, I'm confident. I'm confident in terms of being prepared for the opportunity Saturday. If it's lip service and we all don't commit to doing the things that it takes to improve and treat this game like it's the Super Bowl, then we've all been a part of what that outcome can be. And so it's just the maturity to understand the great opportunity you have on Saturday. If you believe it's a great opportunity, it's my job to make sure they understand the great opportunity we have for Saturday. If you believe it's a great opportunity, you'll value the moment. If you don't believe that's a great opportunity, you're just going to lose this moment because you're going to just start thinking about other things. And so it all starts with believing this is a great opportunity Saturday night. All right? If you truly believe that, then you'll go and focus on and value the moment that you have.
Front row on the left, Tyler Horka.
Marcus, Dan Hicks shared an anecdote on the broadcast this past weekend that you'd caught wind that a young Notre Dame fan's father passed away at the Pitt game the previous week. And I was wondering, and he said that you shared that message with the team on Wednesday. Why did you feel that was important, and what kind of impact can that make on a football team?
Yeah, I think for me, obviously I meet with Katie every morning. We go through important emails or things that we need to go over. And she told me about a young man from Steubenville named JJ that his father passed away at the Pitt game. And as I thought about that moment, they talked about his father died the perfect death, right? He said he was at a Notre Dame game with his family. And it hit me like the gratitude I have for this opportunity. But also it reminded me that it's going to be somebody else's first game watching our team play. It's going to be somebody else's lifelong dream to watch us play on Saturday. And sometimes you need to remind yourself of that because you take it for granted sometimes. And we can't take it for granted. So I just thought it was a way for me on a Wednesday to remind our team, yes, team glory matters for each other, right? If that ain't enough motivation to get you to practice, let me remind you about the seniors. The seniors at their last guaranteed opportunity in Notre Dame Stadium on Saturday. If that ain't important to you, let me tell you about this young man that lost his father at the Pitt Notre Dame game. We have an obligation to make sure we put on a performance the right way, because it's the lifelong dream of some person that's going to see our team play. And we have an obligation to make sure that we give it all to have a performance, not an outcome, but a performance that's worthy of what that kid or adults paying their money to come watch you play. And so whatever motivation you need to value the moment, I hope team glory is enough. I hope that's enough. But if it's not, then let me tell you a couple other situations that you better value what Saturday brings to you, because then you'll do the work in the moment.
And to that last point, I know you usually use Thanksgiving as a big week to motivate your players. So what are you thankful for about this Notre Dame football team, and kind of what's the message going into this regular season finale on that front?
The message right now is going to be the opportunity to play for the Legends Trophy. We got it, and we got to do everything in our power to try to keep this thing. And it's a rivalry game, and that's what's most important. We got to respect our opponent. We got to respect the history and tradition of this game. And as we probably get into Thanksgiving, I'm going to talk about, I'm sure, the gratitude I have to be a part of this program, to lead this program, to be a part of this with this group of coaches and players and staff members, but also this university and what it stands for and the people it impacts. And I'm grateful for it. And because I'm grateful for it, it's my job to do everything in my power to make sure that I'm being the best in my position that I can be. Right? That's, to me, gratitude reminds you to value the opportunity you have. And so I'm sure at some point, some way on Thursday, I'm going to bring that up when we talk. But right now, the focus is going to be on this great opportunity we have versus Stanford on Saturday.
Front row on the right, Pete Sampson.
Marcus, question similar to John's, just about last year, this year, the run that you've been on, not just winning games, but playing really well and getting better as the season goes on. Does this feel similar or different to last year? If it's different, what ways is it different?
I think as you look back at last year, you just see it as a whole. It's hard to remember what it was like in the moment. Right now, we're in the middle of this thing, and it's high pressure. I mean, it's like an anxiousness for this opportunity. You're in the middle of the grind, and that's what it's. I'm sure this is what I felt last year at this time. But as you look back, you just see the big picture, what it turned into. You don't remember how you felt after Northern Illinois, or as you got ready for the season finale at USC. I'm sure it was the exact same way I feel now. That's what I told the players the other day. Is your motivation to prepare the same as it was after Texas A&M? What was your motivation on that Tuesday or Wednesday as you got ready for Arkansas? Yeah, we got to make sure that same eagerness to prepare is what we have right now as we get ready for Stanford, because you got to let the things that happened in the past go. Let's look at this opportunity that we have right in front of us.
You mentioned missed assignments. What's the average performance for that? What's the goal? How often do guys get 100%? Who's your leader in 100%ers?
Very seldom do guys get 100%. Very seldom. I mean, I can't exactly remember everybody. I think there was one or two DBs. I know Leonard, I think, graded out 100. Knapp, I think, might have. Stroh might have. I mean, it doesn't happen often, very, very often. But I love it because you can. If you do your job every snap, You know what I mean? Like, you can grade out at 100%. But you said, what's the goal? The goal is 100%. That's always the goal, is to grade out at 100% and be perfect. Are we ever that? Very, very seldom. As a team, I've never been part of a team that's been perfect, but that's what we're chasing. That's what reaching your full potential truly entails. You know, we probably average 10, maybe throughout the season, I would say 15 would be high, maybe 20 would be really high. 8 is the lowest it's ever been. I think we were at 8. We had 8 and are 2 deep, you know, but as I'm going to tell them in the team meeting, it was 14 as an entire team, and that's what matters. I don't care if you're in the 2 deep or not. And so the goal we strive for is 0.
Back row on the left, Molly O'Malley.
Jalen Stroman, after the game, talked a lot about the love that everyone has for one another on the team and the special bond. How does that feel for you as the coach of the team, and how is that such a crucial part of the team's success?
Yeah, I think, you know, team, I love that word, team. Like, it's a team game, and this team needs everybody to embrace their role and to put individual accolades and opportunities behind team. And to hear a guy like Jalen Stroman say those things, one, there is a organic, like, if you care, like really care about your team and like enjoy being around them, there's going to be a natural like care factor to get your job done. All right. I always say it ultimately is a choice, but if you really have a feeling of love and care for your teammate, like there's going to be a little extra to, you know, I don't want to let you down. This isn't just for me, it's because I don't want to let you down. And Stroh's just a great example of that. Like, I'm so happy for him on Saturday because, I mean, he could argue, well, why aren't I playing more? I'm as good as anybody else. But he embraces his role, and he got a bigger role on Saturday, and he capitalized off of it and made some game-changing play. I mean, did some really, really good things. And I'm proud of him because a similar person in that situation that would complain about their role, they're not going to be ready for that opportunity that happened Saturday. And so, but it was funny. We did a senior parent video where parents speak to their child. And I haven't really gotten to know his parents that well, but at the end of the video, his parents said something about go out. Their advice to Jalen was go out and be the best teammate you can be. Put team in front of yourself. Find a way to win. And he said go out and ball. He said go out and your team. And I said he gets that from home. He gets that from home.
How else do you see that team glory in people like Jalen Stroman who have kind of had to really work their way up the stats, and how has that been such a valuable lesson for them that they've brought onto the field in their performance?
Yeah, I think it's a reflection of what we do on Saturdays, right? Is that you embrace your role, you put team before self. Because I want the scout team player that never got a chance to step on that field, which a lot of people did on Saturday, to feel is a part of that team glory feeling as everybody else, because he put everything into his role. Like, that's what team glory is that if you put everything into your defined role, you should feel like there is nobody that gets more credit because you threw a touchdown or J Love ran for these touchdowns. Like, every person in this room should feel a part of us achieving team glory. And that's why we talk about it. We don't have a lot of individual praise and individual glory. We let you guys do that, you know. But it's also a reflection of life, right? Is that, you know, great examples of marriage. If you put individual needs in front of your spouse's needs, I don't know how long you're going to be married. Like, that's why I tell them all the time. It's the same thing being a father. You're going to have to learn to be selfless and put others in front of yourself. It's one of the greatest traits a person can have.
Across the aisle, Sean Stiers.
Hey, Marcus. Marty Biaggi kind of indicated last week that Noah Burnett could get back in the mix. You know, if he gets healthy, I think was the key word. So I'm kind of, with him specifically, Like, how similar or dissimilar is his injury to Jeter last year? And then how do you want to kind of handle that, place kicking / kickoff going forward?
Yeah, it's a different injury. They're both growing hip, lower leg, muscle tears, strains, but it wasn't the same as Mitch's. But that's something we just kind of talked about. Postseason, we got to figure out what's going on. Because the volume, even talking to him, the volume, what we asked him to do here isn't as much as maybe what they've done previously. But we look at all soft tissue injuries and say there's got to be a cause and effect. What's the issue and how do we fix it? And so with Noah, as soon as he gets healthy, which it could be this week, it's to be determined based off today and tomorrow. Once he gets healthy, let's let him kick and let Eric kick, and we'll make a decision by the end of the week on who's doing what or, who's doing all on Saturday. But Noah's got to get healthy first before we can even come to that decision.
And then from a little bit bigger team perspective, bigger picture after this week, obviously you've got signing day coming up and finals are coming up and things like that. What's like, how much of the next few weeks maybe is about recovery, and then when do you get into, practice and ramping up again?
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of scheduled out the next couple of weeks. You have to have a plan. I mean, you can't wait until after Stanford to have a plan, but we have a plan. We got to recover where we can, but we got to stay ready. We can't drop too much. We got to recover in certain areas. We got to stay in the weight room. We'll do some football-specific stuff. They got finals coming up that we got to make sure we give them time to prepare there. And we got to practice, too. We can't take a couple weeks off. We got to still be able to practice while also helping some of the guys that have played a lot of plays recover. And so it's an equation, right? And at times it can be individually specific based on what we're asking you, based off the load you've had over the course of 12 games versus what we asked this person to do who maybe hasn't played as much. Like what you're going to ask them to do in the weight room, on the football field could be different. But ultimately we got to make sure if we get an opportunity after this one that when that opportunity presents itself, everybody's at a position of peak performance before that game.
Staying on the right side, Tim Priester.
Coach, you mentioned that you've seen statistically some of the improvements that Stanford has made. I wonder if there's anything that you've seen beyond the stats, considering that their head coach this season has an extensive background in the NFL, and then Andrew Luck as their GM is maybe invested in ways that a lot of GMs aren't.
Yeah. I see there's a lot of guys that are playing this year that played last year. So it tells me that they didn't have a mass exodus. A lot of those guys have been there. They believe in their culture. They believe in Stanford. They believe in what they're building there. They're a well-coached team. They have a system on offense, defense, and special teams, right? There's always when it's hard to figure out what somebody's doing, because I'm involved with the scout teams, you wonder sometimes, what's the system? Where's the core rules and foundation of it? But they have obviously a system on offense, defense, special teams. You can tell they pride themselves. The stats don't matter on this one, but they pride themselves on being able to run the ball. They want to run the ball. All right, they want to run the ball, and on defense, they're going to do everything in their power to stop the run. All right, and they're playing a little bit more man this year than they did previously. But they play hard. They play hard. They're tough. They're disciplined. They don't often beat themselves, and so that shows me that this is a well-coached team. And to me, they're going to continue to improve.
It was mentioned in the broadcast, and I don't know if this is an accurate depiction or it's a paraphrase, but the comment was made that with regard to the defense and Chris Ash, that he hung with his convictions. Does that resonate in any way specifically? And if so, what were the convictions that Chris Ash hung with?
I think it's he has a little philosophy in terms of what we're playing. Yeah, but it's more so how we're coaching it, the fundamentals of successful defense. Right? We all believe it wasn't a call. It was the fundamentals and the execution of what we're asking our guys to do. Those are the convictions I know that Coach Ash is really talking about. Is like, hey, there's a lot of different ways to play defense. The things we're doing aren't wrong. It's just the execution of them. And we have to double down with finding ways to get them to execute better. If it's technique, is it concepts, schemes? But it was, guys, this thing isn't wrong. We're not wrong. We just got to do it better. Maybe we have to simplify a little bit before we can expand. But what we're doing at the core isn't wrong, and we all agree. He had conviction. I have conviction. The whole defensive staff had conviction, and our players had conviction. Even in the ones that might have wavered, I don't know who they are, but the leaders had conviction and buy-in to the staff and what we're being asked to do. And so I knew that, but that was going to be what it took to get it fixed, right? To improve, not get it fixed. We have to get it to improve, and that's what happened.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks, Coach.
All right.